On September 14th, there will be an election in California, a special election, a recall election. It happens occasionally in California. And the incumbent is a governor by the name of Gavin Newsom. And if there is a vote for a recall, then there will be a list of candidates to choose from. Larry Elder is the Republican front runner in that list, followed by Caitlyn Jenner, and there are other Republicans, and there are other Democrats as well, and other candidates. Um, so, a lot of people find this odd because recalls don't happen too often across the country, but it happens in California. I mean, it happened before. I think his name's Gray Davis, and it resulted with the election of Arnold Arnold Schwarzenegger, um, who, for what I could tell, was a relatively moderate Republican. So, Gray Davis being substituted for Arnold Schwarzenegger did not really change the way things are in California. I'm talking about what is actually pretty decent about California. I would have a little more caution about Larry Elder, who is the Republican candidate, the leading Republican candidate, because he's pretty damn bad and extreme for a Republican in that state. Um, and I certainly think it would be bad news. It'd probably be equal bad news to having Gavin Newsom remain, who I think is a horrible governor. Because with Gavin Newsom, he represents what I find absolutely repugnant about the modern Democratic Party. They're corporatists and they suck up the big business in every way you can imagine, but then they are busybodies with people's lives. When I interviewed Dwight Welch a few weeks ago, he and I talked about this sort of Democrats in the past, and he described the modern corporate Democrat as basically favoring the dark side of the nanny state without the actual nanny. That's the Democratic Party in large measure. The way that the establishment runs the party. So they want to overreach toward America with burdensome regulations and micromanaging people's lives, but really doing next to nothing to help people. And I'm the opposite. I want an activist. If you're going to have a two-party system and have the Democrats versus the Republicans, I want the Democratic Party to be an activist party, but an activist party for working people. In other words, I want Democrats help. I want Republicans to give free stuff to people because we had a lot of shit taken away in the last 40 to 50 years away from us. Yeah, I make no apologies. Give us all free stuff. That's not exactly a talking point that's going to turn me away when I hear Republicans saying, oh, the damn libtards just want to give people free stuff. Yeah, give us health care. Give us jobs. Give us free college. That's the kind of free stuff I want. I don't want, well, healthcare. Buy your health insurance or you get fined. Or we're going to go and close down businesses and make you wear a mask and busybody your life, but we're not going to give you any aid, or we're going to go and not give a damn about people being kicked out of their homes and losing their health coverage for something that's not their fault. So this is the contention I have with the Democratic Party. And Gavin Newsom is a representation of what I find horrible about that same Democratic Party. So if I were to live in California, I, as a registered voter, I would vote yes for the recall. But that's not because I want Larry Elder to become the governor. I don't want Larry Elder to become the governor. Uh, there's narrow it down to one reason why I don't want to see any Republican getting elected is that they're going to do what they love to do once they get a little bit of power. And they're going to go and mean test social programs to make it look more, give it more of a stigma of welfareism to make the masses distrust government even more. And then they go after the public sector workers and try to bust their unions. The hell with that, too. So, but the thing about it is, um, there is a candidate I would urge people to vote for. If I lived in California, I would vote yes for the recall as a fuck you to Gavin Newsom. And yeah, fuck Larry Elder too while we're at it. But I would go and vote for Dan Kapelovitz, who is the Green Party candidate for governor. That is the only choice really to have in California. Not Larry Elder, not Caitlyn Jenner, not any of the other Republicans running, nor any of the other Democrats that I'm aware of. But the only choice really is Dan Kapelovitz. Now, I do have a beef to pick with the California Peace and Freedom Party. What the fuck are y'all doing opposing the recall? You're supposed to get behind Dan Kapelovitz of the Green Party. You're not supposed to sit there and kiss up to corporate Democrats. Which leads me to my next criticism. Bernie Sanders supports voting no on the recall. And so we're going to go and I'm going to play you a video of Bernie Sanders sharing his insights on that recall. Hold tight. Oh, give me a couple of moments. Here we go.
Senator Bernie Sanders is slamming the effort to recall Governor Newsom, calling it a bold-faced Republican power grab.
At this unprecedented moment in American history, when we're trying to address the crisis of climate change, guarantee health care for all, and pass real immigration reform, the last thing we need is to have some right-wing Republican governor in California.
The new TV commercial and digital ad is the latest effort supporting the embattled governor. This just 15 days before the election. The Vermont senator says, don't let it happen. Please return your ballot or vote no in person by September 14th.
Okay.
Senator Bernie Sanders is slamming the effort to recall Governor.
Sorry about that. Give me a couple of seconds here. Okay, I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you what I think. As you all know, I'm obviously a Bernie Sanders supporter. I've always been a fan of Bernie Sanders. I still have nothing but high regard for Bernie Sanders. I consider him a mentor. I consider him a hero in a lot of ways. I consider him a continuation of that of American socialist tradition of Eugene Victor Debs, Norman Thomas, Michael Harrington, um, Martin Luther King, Emma Goldman, Victor Berger, Frank Zeidler, the whole socialist and social democratic history of America. I consider Bernie Sanders a continuation of it in its American form. In its global form or worldwide form, I would associate Bernie Sanders with with many well-known social democratic figures in world history, like Willy Brandt of Germany, Helmut Schmidt, Olof Palme of Sweden, Gro Harlem Brundtland of Norway, U Tant of Bangladesh, um, Tommy Douglas in Canada, Clement Attlee, Harold Wilson in the UK, Go Whitlam in Australia, Salvador Allende in Chile, Nelson Mandela, South Africa. You get the idea. And I consider Bernie Sanders on the world stage historically being aligned with these folks. So anybody who knows about this channel and knows where I stand on Bernie Sanders knows that I am a big fan of Bernie Sanders, big admirer, always have been for the last 30 years when I first heard of him. I became a socialist because of Bernie Sanders. The thing about it is, this is the one time Bernie Sanders is on an election campaigning. I take that back. This is one of those areas where Bernie Sanders, when he campaigns for corporate Democrats. And that's a big problem I have with him. Hillary Clinton treated him horribly in 2016. And he campaigned hard for Hillary Clinton. And she had no gratitude. Couldn't even be bothered to go to those 4 states where it was critical for her to win. And then everybody blames Bernie Sanders. The corporate Democrats blame Bernie Sanders, and the media blames Bernie Sanders. And they blame Jill Stein all for Donald Trump winning when Hillary Clinton was a sorry ass candidate. Now, I'm not going to fault Bernie Sanders with Joe Biden so much. Yeah, I wish he would have put up the fight a little bit longer in the primaries. I'm pissed that he didn't. I'm pissed that he talked about his good friend, Joe Biden. Yes, he could beat Trump. Spare me, please. Thing about it is, yeah, Joe Biden is less despicable in his demeanor than Hillary Clinton. And I know that Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders were never particularly close. And Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders have an affinity for each other. I am not faulting either one. I'm just saying, but I wish he would have put up a fight, and I wish he would have put his personal feelings aside on his personal friendship with Joe Biden and realized there are things bigger than your friend. I'm not saying that like in a cultic way, what have you, but I mean, you don't have to call him an asshole, but you can call him corrupt. I mean, you could have said, my stated policies are much better and more effective toward the working class than Joe Biden's, whose policies are much closer toward rhino Republicans. He could have done that, and he would have been telling the truth. And I don't think that Joe Biden would have had any ill will toward him. Honestly, I actually don't. I actually think that their friendship would have been compromised. My opinion. But I tell you what it's all about. Bernie Sanders do not want to be written off as the next Ralph Nader, because in 2000, prior to 2000, I understood that he kept in touch with Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders kept in touch, shall I say, with Ralph Nader a lot. And in 2000, after the 2000 election, he no longer was on speaking terms with Ralph Nader. And I sort of suspect that he probably voted for Ralph Nader. I'm not sure, but I think he probably voted for Ralph Nader quietly in 2000. And he felt like he bears some responsibility for George W. Bush winning, which it ain't his fault. You got to understand, people. Yeah, whether you're on the left and relying on the Democrats, even though you may not want to, or even those corporate Democrats who wants to sit there scapegoat the left every time an election gets lost. Got to realize, just as in 2016 with Hillary Clinton, Al Gore was a pretty sorry candidate. He chose Joe Lieberman as his running mate. If that is not an indicator of all indicators of how horrible Al Gore was. Now, Al Gore has some th- things going for him. I mean, he's pretty good on the environment issues like the environment. He's not wrong on the environment, and we would do better to actually listen to more Al Gore when it comes to the environment. But he was still a strong corporate Democrat, very active in the third way direction of the Democratic Party in the 1980s and 1990s. He was with the Democratic Leadership Council, and as far as I'm concerned, Democratic Leadership Council is cancer to me, and he was just not the candidate to support in 2000. I voted for David McReynolds, Socialist Party USA candidate in North Carolina as a write-in, and I would do it again. So then again, I have voted third party many years since 1996. 1992 was the last year I voted for a major party candidate for president. Um, just can't go and do it because they're terrible. The choices are always terrible. I mean, Democrats are corporate sellouts, and Republicans are right wing nutcases. So there's nothing when it comes to presidential elections on when it comes to the two party system. There's nothing that's offered toward me by Republicans and Democrats alike that makes me excited for either one of them. So I say this without apology. If you're going to go and ignore Bernie Sanders in California, this is where you ignore him on. You go ahead, you vote yes on that recall. But I'm going to urge you to not vote for Larry Elder. He's a piece of shit. But go ahead and find somebody else. I would prefer Californians to vote for the Green Party. But if you're not a leftist and you don't like the Republicans because they're that shit right wing crazy, but you're kind of conservative leaning, I would urge you to go and vote for if there's a libertarian running, go ahead and vote for that libertarian as a protest vote. Um, and that would be what I would urge for those who are independent, right leaning, but can't stomach Larry Elder. Uh, as I said, Larry Elder and Gavin Newsom, to me, whichever way, it's not going to matter who wins in a lot of ways. If they vote no, if no wins on the recall and California's stuck with Gavin Newsom, my condolences to California. If you vote yes on the referendum and somehow Larry Elder becomes the governor of California, equally, my condolences for the people of California because this guy is just off his rails, off his rocker. So there you have it. If you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree, comment anyway. We'll have a conversation. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it because we're the muckrakers of our time. Feel free to share the content. Feel free to subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell. And until next time, I am American Social Democracy. Peace and class struggle. Absolutely now. Absolutely now. Vote for the recall. Vote yes. And then vote green. It's my advice. Later.